Welcome to Alexandra Park. It's home to many things, such as a restaurant, a racecourse, and a regional sports trust. Sport Auckland's vision is for Aucklanders to lead active lives. The sport development team is focused on increasing the capability of Auckland's community sport clubs, whilst its structure and process derived from hands-on knowledge and experience is key to its success. Sport Auckland's coach and volunteer management process is a brand new project. Its aim is to try and help sport organisations train and retain its coaches. Let's talk to some of the mentors here at Sport Auckland's offices to learn some more. Jeff Mitchell is the creator of the process and workshops for club managers and coach coordinators and helps them review what facets of the program would help their clubs most.
The idea came from the fact that most clubs were recognising or identifying that coaching and volunteers were a big issue, generally around recruiting volunteers and then holding on to the volunteers that they had.
Laura Baxter is one of the community sport advisors who drives the capability build of Central Auckland clubs.
We hope is to provide that structure for clubs to allow them to recruit, retain and develop their coaches, not only their coaches but volunteers as well. It's a fairly generic process that they can utilise for a lot of different positions within their club.
Tony Dye is the man who delivers the workshop and continues to talk to the clubs, offering them support to implement their plans.
Things should get smoother and smoother for the club so that when people at the club get replaced, the next person that comes into a role there knows what needs to be done.
So we can work with you to identify a plan to look at, well, what are your coaching and your volunteer needs, and then what are you going to do to achieve those. And we can take you through a workshop with a number of other sports and other clubs. We can share ideas around, well, what are some ways of recruiting coaches and then holding on to those coaches.
In the workshop, Tony teaches club organisers how to review what the club needs from its coaches, then how to go about it step by step. So how to recruit them, select them and screen new volunteers, then how to induct, develop and most importantly, how to retain them.
Once they recognise that the process is going to make a big difference in terms of how they look after their coaches and volunteers, then they're right on board with it.
The issue most clubs face now is retaining volunteers for more than a few years. The workshops are geared towards reviewing their own processes.
One of the key issues to get across to the club is that they need to have coach coordinators, they need to have coach volunteers, they need to have someone who can lead the charge and really look after that area of the club, making sure that they get the process implemented.
So I think the key is that we upskill the clubs so they've got a document in place that they can then maintain themselves. So the key is around the training is once it's in place, that we have to help them to how do they review the plan, how do they update the plan, and then give them the support and the links to their own regional sport organisation to then maintain it. So there's only a limited amount of resource that we have, there's only so much time we can spend individually with clubs, but if we can get them set up, get them underway, give them the support through those early stages, and then we can see them run with it from there.
This process looks to retain these coaches so that you have a little bit more longevity with the workforce within your club. Players respond to the same coaches, so it's good to have those good people involved for longer.
When different clubs get together and they communicate and network about what they're doing for their coaches and volunteers, then there's a lot of information sharing, and there are some things that particular clubs in certain sports do really well, and other things that other clubs in other sports do really well, so that when they have that information sharing, they can really learn a lot from one another to just come up with best practices.
So now we've seen what the process looks like on paper. Let's go check out what it looks like when it's been put to the test.
Go, boys.
Tony's role is vital to the success of the process because the coach and volunteer management plans can be very difficult to enact.
What we really look to do with this guidance and these types of processes is to make it sustainable.
The clubs really appreciate the input that they get from Sport Auckland. They really get a lot out of the workshops in terms of understanding that looking after their coaches and volunteers is an important process, and having the tools in place to help them to do that makes the job a lot easier for them.
It's been a big help to prioritise things that I should be doing instead of just leaving things for the coaches to do. You actually make yourself keep involved, and especially with the upskilling of the coaches.
Sport Auckland's coach and volunteer management process has shown incredible results very quickly. Thanks to the diligent work of Jeff, Laura and Tony, the process is sustainable and can work for any club, anywhere. Sport Auckland is doing an incredible thing, making life easier for sports clubs and organisations to more effectively recruit, retain, develop and reward their coaches and volunteers. This is of the benefit to all clubs of all sizes. So get in touch with your local Sport Auckland sport development team and take a look at some of the information they have on the process and see the difference Sport Auckland can have for you. We'd be happy to have you.